social media. We're going to get you out here well before the top of the hour. We'll give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here on the drive-thru Monday through Friday here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's our live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners, our professional handicappers over at Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek at who's on the show with us for today. All right, with us, Zawacky with us, Jovan Burts, David Racey, and Jay Briggs. Here's how they'll line up for this evening. Briggs, Racey, Burts, Zawacky, then I will close this one out. All right, got baseball. We got a game here, limited card. So we're taking this game here that's starting in 5 minutes. Let's bring Jay in right now. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Jay, we got it. Phillies and Braves. Phillies up 1-0. We see the Braves big favorites here, and it's yesterday's score there. We'll get the right one up there. But anyway, Braves looking to try to even up this series.
Yeah, I'm taking the Braves to even up this series. I'm sorry that this game is starting so soon. I usually don't do this, but it's a limited card today. And so hopefully you guys can get in, get out, or maybe catch it live. I think the Braves tie this series up heading back to Philadelphia. The Braves have been one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best team in baseball all year. I thought this would be a pretty tough series here. With the Phillies, we know the Phillies were one of the best teams as well, made it to the World Series last year. They have a dangerous lineup, but when I look at the pitching matchup, I trust Max Fried in this spot, and I'm going to give the slight edge to the Atlanta Braves at home. Can't fall down 0-2 heading back to Philly, or it's over. I think it's worth a shot on the best team in baseball here. In a must-win spot, I'm going to take the Braves. I'm going to lay the wood. I think they get it done. I think we head back to Philly 1-1.
All right, we got Jay says go ahead and take the Braves here to even up this night. We just seen some money move on the Braves. We saw minus 150, minus 149 when I put the graphic together about 5 minutes ago. Now minus 152. So we're seeing the money now come. This is the sharpest book in the world right here. Where we're getting these odds fees, this odds from. So it's we're seeing the money pour here on the Braves. No doubt about that. It's again, that's must-win situation. But the Phillies bats, we saw that in the first round here, and of course we've seen it with Turner, Harper, Realmuto, Castellanos. I mean, they've got some players there, and they're also turning in some Schwarber, who's either home run or fail. That he's one of those analytics-friendly hitters that seems to get, he'll hit a home run once every 4 days. You just, when is it going to be? These Phillies, I had a feeling they were going to be tough to get out of this playoffs.
I think so, too. I actually got the Phillies winning the series. I said that from the start. I think the Phillies win it, but I don't know if they can take both off the best team in baseball on the road. That's a tough task to ask. I got to take the Braves here in this spot, man. I got to take them. I think they respond.
All right, Jay says that go here with the Braves here, minus 149. About 3 minutes away from start time. There's some in-game in there as well. Let's say the Phillies get their at-bats. They don't score. A little more value there on their side, right?
Definitely. And I'm not mad at anybody going for the value in the Phillies. Like I said, we seen them go on a run at this time last year, but getting the Braves at minus 150, that's not a crazy money line price, not for baseball. I got to take a shot with the home team.
Take a shot for the home team here. TBS will televise here in about 5 minutes. All right, Jay, let's take a look over at Pick Dogs Print for tonight's action. Of course, on the board tonight, we've got Major League Baseball. Of course, Monday Night Football up there. We got the Dodgers D-backs game 2. Of course, head into a big weekend of action as we hit the ice tomorrow with even more college football and more. Big week. What do you have going on over at Pick Dogs Premium?
Yes, sir. I have tonight. I just have my NFL play of the night. Cash big on my favorite play thus far this year in the NFL. Yesterday on the New York Jets, knew them boys was gonna respond and get it done in Denver. Shout out Zach Wilson, man. I'm starting to see him improve a little bit. We got to give credit where credit is due. So we're trying to go back to back. I like tonight's play as well in the NFL. You can scoop that up, and then we got baseball all week. We got college football all week. College football on a Tuesday starting tomorrow, man. It's crazy. We got NFL, tons of action, man. So I'll have plays locked and loaded all week. I'm pretty warm right now. Trying to go from warm to hot. Hop on right now. That's the best time to hop on with somebody when they're warm. Finna get hot, and I think that's what I got going on. I think I'm finna get hot coming down the stretch in October. Hop on long term, man. So let's make some money.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Jay Briggs over at Pick Dogs Premium. We're looking for some hot results here from Jay. Big Jets winner yesterday. But, of course, you can go longer term, the 3, 7, or 30-day pass. 7 days, very popular right now. Get all your baseball here with these playoffs as well as all the football with that 7 days. Pick as a promo code. Save that 15% off. You can even add more cappers with a 2-for-1 capper promotion. Make it even a greater value there. All right, Jay, as always, great having your show. Team that success, just get some thoughts out of you here, how Cowboys respond after that loss in Texas, too. It was a tough day, a tough weekend for the football teams in Texas.
Yeah, man. Started off on Saturday with the Longhorns losing a heartbreaker. That's Texas OU, though. That's Texas OU. If you've watched that series for any amount of time, man, you know that game's always back and forth, and whoever has the football last usually wins the game. Do I think it means a lot in the grand scheme of things for Texas? I don't. I think this is still the best Texas team we've seen in years past. They'll get their shot to avenge themselves against Oklahoma later on in the season, and we'll see if they can sneak themselves into the playoffs with that one loss. Dallas, this is my thought on them, Tony. They're probably going to go on to win 11, 12 games. They're going to make the postseason, and they're going to get beat in the second round like we always do. It just is what it is. I thought that's what last night solidified, that this is the exact same Dallas Cowboys football team that I've been accustomed to my whole entire lifetime. I need people to understand that I will be 24 on Monday, 24 years of age, and I have never seen the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game, let alone the Super Bowl. I have not seen them in an NFC Championship game. I thought this year would maybe be a chance, but when you can't even compete with one of the best teams in the league, the chance of beating them is not really there. So, yeah, it's disappointing here in Dallas if you're a football fan. But as I tweeted out, it's baseball season, man. Postseason action. Rangers home playoff game tomorrow. See if we can close out the O's.
That's right. That's the thing. See if they close out the O's. A team that, the offense coming through, getting some timely pitching here. And, of course, looking at that route there. Of course, we're seeing the Cowboys' early lineup here. They're going to be at the Chargers. That's going to be that looks like it's going to be a Monday Night Football. Actually, yeah, they're coming in here.
On my birthday, yep. Monday Night Football
Monday
on
Night
my birthday.
Football. We got double. Do we have a double header that night? I'm sure. Let's see. No, it's a single game.
I think it's a
single game. Yeah, single game. Out here in LA, it's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans because it's a Charger home game. We're seeing the Dallas Cowboys 2.5 to 2-point favorites now. Total sits here at 50 in that one.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting game. One thing I will say is, guys, go do your homework on the Dallas Cowboys following a loss under Mike McCarthy. I think they've won every single game, and they usually do it pretty dominantly. Again, I expect this team to still be pretty good, top 10-ish in the NFL. They're going to go on to win 11, 12 games. But other than that, I mean, that's what they've done the last few seasons. So I'm not getting too hype over that. It's Super Bowl or bust this season, and it's 90% looking like bust. So it is what it is. We're on the forever train of mediocrity.
It's early. They don't crown Super Bowl champs in the first week of
early.
October. Okay.
It's over.
It's early. It's too early to do that, man. I've seen a lot, man. I've seen a lot where it's everything. And sometimes it reverses. I would have been more concerned if Cowboys would have won by a blowout because that'll carry over the confidence. Now they're still the hungry team. So that means they're going to have to fight better. And sometimes these things turn around. Well, they could figure out Brock Purdy. They could figure out that 49ers offensive scheme. We'll see how all of this rolls. But again. Maybe they can avoid the NFC West in the postseason. The NFC West is giving the Cowboys trouble.
The Niners, and it's been the Niners. They put us out the last 2 seasons. They just beat up on us. They just got our number. If we can avoid them, then maybe. But if we see them, I'll see it.
Well, I guess the Eagles could give them. I think the Eagles could give them a tough game.
I think the Eagles could give them a tough game, and I am not afraid of the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a team that Dak Prescott, in his tenure at the Cowboys, he's dominated that Eagles team. I know they made it to the Super Bowl last year, but we split with the Eagles 1-1. Both games, neither starting quarterback played for the team that lost. So we're going to get Dak Jalen Hurts twice this year, hopefully, and we'll see. I'm not that afraid of the Philadelphia Eagles, but the Niners, they got our number.
That's right, Niners there. And, of course, don't forget those Lions, new blood in there, new young blood. We'll talk to David Racey about his Lions. Maybe David Racey can do the dirty work for you guys.
Yeah, hey, The Lions snuck up, man. They're 5 now in my power rankings, man. I
Wow.
gotta stop disrespecting the Lions, man. Shout out to the Lions. They're for real. They're for real.
Yeah, yep. You know, you're gonna maybe again that can happen. You know, Lions come in and sneak up on you. You never know what happens in these postseasons. It's a one and done situation. It's not like these baseball playoffs where you get in this series you got 5 chances, but we get deeper, we get 7, NBA 7. So far, your thoughts here on looking at the Mavericks in a couple of preseason games. They're preseason.
Yeah, it's preseason. We got some preseason action tonight. I can't wait to turn my TV on to watch some of that. But my thoughts are we're probably going to make the postseason. And then once we get into the postseason, we're going to have to see how well Luka and Kyrie can gel over the course of the regular season and see if they can make any noise in the postseason. I think the postseason in the NBA usually comes down to who has the best top end players. And I think the Mavs are going to have that in most series that they're in. But, you know, we got to see if they can make some noise, man. Another Dallas team that just don't get your hypes too high, and you'll usually be well.
Yeah, that's true. Don't get too excited. You never know what rolls on with these guys. But, of course, again, it always comes down to also the trading deadline. There's a lot of seasons as we get into the basketball season. We're 2 weeks and a day away from the start of the NBA. All right, Jay, as always, great having the show. To the success, we'll catch up with you a little later on. Looking for those Rangers in action. We'll have that coverage here tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm sure we'll have a pick on the game. But anyway, Jay, let everybody know where they can find your morning shows. Of course, the NFL rundown as well. And, of course, it's at halftime Monday Night Football.
Yeah, man, halftime tonight. Check us out. Make sure you got your noties on. Me and Money Man Mitch, halftime, Green Bay, Las Vegas Raiders. Should be a good game. You can catch me there. Morning show with Mitch and Chris. Afternoon show, I'll be back tomorrow afternoon with the afternoon show. I think David will be on there. I forgot who all was on Tuesday, but everybody should be there. Should be a lot of fun. We look at the NFL, so a ton of content from me here at Pick Dogs. Subscribe to the channel. Check it all out. Let's continue to make some money, man.
Yeah.
Great time of year.
That's exactly, guys. Like, subscribe, set notifications so when these videos drop live, you get them in real time. All right, Jay, have a great night. We'll catch you at halftime tonight.
Yes, sir, Tony T, man. I'll see y'all later.
Got it. Jay Briggs here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the show. Up next, we're in David Racey. Catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Bring in right now more baseball coverage here from David. I think we'll be ready to roll here in just a second as we get him in here. I think we're ready to roll David Racey. David, what's happening?
Not much, Tony. Just living up my Detroit Lions like you and Jay were talking about.
Yeah, right. The Detroit Lions have been looking really, really good. They took it. Those are the games you like when you take care of business against a team you should take care of business of. And big favorites, you come through. To me, that's a positive sign than being some of these, winning a close game.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's been a while since the Lions could just take care of business like that. But it worries me a little bit. They have injuries mounting here.
Yes.
So they need to stop the injury train because they're losing some key players.
All right. Speaking of losing key players, the Dodgers down to one starter from when the season started, and that's Kershaw, who was hammered. Anything new there with Kershaw? Poor guy. Boy, that curveball looked horrible. I mean, his whole rhythm, everything looked out of whack here. But it looks like they're going to be using their OKCs. Their OKC guys are going to have to get them through here. OKC's their AAA farm club where you've seen a lot of their starters, and there's some of them doing good. Miller Dodgers here to host the D-backs. Dodgers $1.51, totals down to 7.5. Wow.
Yeah, it's game one was interesting with Arizona winning that one 11-2. And yeah, you're right. Kershaw just did not look very good. And now they turn to Bobby Miller, who doesn't have a ton of experience, but they cannot afford to lose this game. And similar to what Jay was saying, I just like the Dodgers here at home. I don't think they're going to go down 2-0. Headed back to Arizona. If they do that, the series is over. And I do think Arizona could win this series, especially taking one in Los Angeles. But Arizona's going with Zach Gallen in this one. He's been very solid for them this year. He's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 3 straight starts. But he did make 2 starts against this Dodgers team during the regular season, and he got roughed up, allowing 11 earned runs over 10 innings of work. You have to look at the Dodgers. They did finish 162 this season, and they were 53-28 at home. So they played great over at Dodger Stadium. They're going with Bobby Miller, who's allowed 2 earned runs or fewer in 3 straight starts. He made one start against the Diamondbacks, allowing 4 earned runs over 6 innings of work. But I'm going to take the Dodgers offense here over the Diamondbacks offense. I don't necessarily love the pitching matchup for either side just because those guys have struggled against these teams this year. But that Dodgers offense was the second in Major League Baseball in runs scored. And I think they come through and get a big home win here. But I'm going to take them minus the 1.5 for the better value.
All right, we have David here on the run line. Dodgers lay the run in half here at plus 130 against Arizona. Of course, these teams play each other a lot. Not as much as they did in the past. I think it was like 18 before, but this year a little less with as everybody faces everyone from the American League. But yeah, Gallen was hammered here. Dodgers seen a lot of Arizona. The one thing here that's been interesting is how well the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen has pitched here in the last series, and of course heading into the last weeks of the season. I don't know if this is going to hold up. At some point, I think they're going to get hit, especially by this Dodger lineup.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It can't hold up forever, but it's encouraging to see. They went into Milwaukee, they won both games, only allowed 5 total runs in that series, only allowed 2 runs to LA in game 1. So yeah, you're right. It's been a great start for the pitching staff, who was not great during the regular season, but this Dodgers offense, to me, is just too good to have 2 stinkers in a row. Especially with how big of a game this is. Like I said, if they go back to Arizona down 2-0, it's all but over. And that lineup, to me, is just too good to let that happen.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I had seen something on the Dodgers after losing at home as a favorite. There's some really strong trends. This is not run line. This is just to win straight up. I'll look at the run line here in a second here, but I saw something strong. Yeah, revenging a loss as a home favorite. 18-3 straight up LA. So they have been able to revenge a home loss as a favorite in that spot. I'll see if there's anything looking here on the run line side here. There's always a lot of positive on the Dodgers with the run line because they've had some pretty good record there last couple of seasons here. With the Dodgers here, let's see if there's any revenge spots here. Well, I don't see one here yet but I don't know how many of those. When you go 18-3, you got to figure there's got to be some run line wins in there, right? I mean, that's the way the Dodgers have been playing, right?
Exactly. And yeah, I do, like I said, I'm going with the run line for the value, but I do love the Dodgers on the money line at that, right around that minus 150 price. But I didn't want to lay the minus 150, which is why I went with the run line. But I don't think you could go wrong either way. Yeah,
I was just trying to see if there's anything here showing up on that trend, and I would think so. There should be real positive there since the Dodgers have been 18-3 straight up. That's not run line, revenging a home loss as a favorite. As a home favorite, so there you go. But in this one, it's a run line. They the run and a half, but get the plus money back. Plus 130 here against Arizona. Of course, this one will have a start time here of 9 p.m. Eastern time over on TBS. Looks like the Phillies may push across 2 more. It's 1-0 now. Bases loaded, a base hit. We're now 2-0. So the Phillies, wow, Castellanos coming through here with a base hit. Looks like it's 1-0. Might have been first and second there. So bases loaded, 2 outs here, some 2 base hits here. And boy, the Phillies hitting Max Fried pretty good. These have been some hard shots.
Yeah, the thing with Fried's been interesting this year. He's battled a few different injury spots, and he's never really been able to get into a rhythm. I mean, his numbers have been solid this year, but he hasn't pitched consistently, I guess you could say, over a long stretch of time. So it always worries me when that happens with a pitcher. Do they get rusty? Do they not? But I was with Jay on that one. I like the Braves there, but Philly is no joke, that's for sure. They're a very solid baseball team.
Yeah, very solid here. Still bases loaded. That was first six. So bases loaded on Fried here, 2 outs. So the Phillies looking to try to break it open here early in the game. If you had the Yurfie, you're already cashed. That's the beauty of the Yurfie. But Fried, they've been able to make solid contact on Fried. I don't see the velocity. Remember, he's coming off those blisters. I don't think they pitch him, but the blisters was still a problem. But there's no doubt about that. And make a note here. I want to go back to the Lions. The line is out here, so they're going to face Tampa Bay next week. Early line's out. And we're seeing juice tier to 3. It looks like Lions laying 3. It may move to 3.5 because there's like minus 125 juice on that number.
Yeah, it's tough to not go with them after what they've shown in the past 3 games. I know that Seattle game at home was a tough loss in week 2, but Lions have looked great in their last 3 games. That defense has really turned things around. And I'm curious to see if they can get Jamison Williams going. I know he had that drop yesterday. Didn't get many targets, but if they can get Williams going, he could be a huge complementary role in this offense to free up space for guys like St. Brown and Gibbs and Laporta. So it'll be interesting to see. But Tampa Bay 3-1, kind of a surprise team in the South there. So interesting to see. But I do like the Lions in that one.
Yeah, Lions, hard not to, and it looks like the early money likes the Lions too, because we said it's already juiced at minus 125 on that 3-point line. It's not going to hold. I could see it going to 3.5 there. Of course, the quarterback situation there with Tampa Bay showing some improvement, but how long? How long is this? Is a big test here. But again, how much? Again, the Lions have been wounded. At some point, do you think those injuries could come back to haunt them? Maybe that's in the line there.
Yeah, and it definitely could. They got guys like St. Brown missed last game, Gibbs. They have some secondary players. I saw Mosley tore his ACL in his first game back. So it's not great. The Lions did get the benefit of the scheduling right now. I mean, they're in the middle of kind of a soft part of the schedule, playing the Falcons, the Panthers, the Bucks. I know they're 3-1, but still not necessarily a strong team. But it gets difficult pretty quickly as they have the Ravens. After the Bucks, they have the Chargers in 3 games. So we'll find out if those injuries are going to play a role. But if Jared Goff keeps playing like this, I think they can play with just about anyone. I mean, obviously they'd have their hands full with teams like Philly or San Fran or Dallas. But I'm loving this Detroit team, how they're looking, the creativity on offense. And the defense is the most surprising part. Last year, the defense had their issues for sure. So defensively, if they can hold up, it's going to be great. But either way, I'm going to enjoy the ride because it's been forever since we could just say that.
Yeah, you probably have to see the Vikings go down against the Chiefs. NFC Central battle has Vikings at Bears. Of course, Bears coming off that win, a little bit extra rest here. Looks like the Vikings are 2.5. We're seeing some 3s on the road favorite here. Total sits about 46.5.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Justin Jefferson. I know he had that hamstring injury yesterday. If he can't go, this offense is really hindered, especially with the struggles that Madison's had. I know they have Cam Akers as well, but yeah, the Vikings, they won all those close games last year, and this year they're up to that 1-4 start. But Chicago, I know they won this past week, or Thursday, I should say, but Chicago's look like a dumpster fire. So it's tough to put any money on a Bears team that has looked like that, but they'll be at home and maybe playing a Vikings team without Jefferson. So I guess you never know. You
never know. Yeah. So that's an interesting one there in the Central. So there you go. With of course the Bears, the Phillies got out of that jam with Free got to 3-0 on the batter, and it was a little nerve-wracking. Thought he might have walked in a batter, but a 3-1 count, a hard hit ground out to first. And Free gets out of it 1-0 here as the Braves bat in the bottom of the first. But the Phillies bat's looking sharp already on, so we'll see how that rolls. All right, let's take a look over at Pick Dodge Premium for this evening's action. One baseball, an NFL game, head into a big weekend of action. David, what do you have going over at the site?
Yeah, so tonight I have my play on the Monday night game. That's it for tonight, only a 3-game card. But we are in the middle of this stretch. I think it was, 55 days starting last Wednesday that we have either a college game or an NFL game on every single night up until, I think, November 22nd. So it's a beautiful time in the football season, and I'll have plenty of plays this week on those midweek college games, along with the NHL, MLB, and then NFL coming up this weekend. So great time to jump on long term, pair me up with another capper, and let's have a good week.
Let's have a good week and get on board with David Racey over at Pick Dogs Premium. And, of course, let's get on board with those long-term passes. The best value there, that 7-day pass will get you all of David's premium plays here for the baseball playoffs this week, as well as all the football. Remember, we got college football starting again tomorrow, so it keeps coming, as well as the start of the NHL season. All right, David, as always, great having the show. Have yourself a great evening. We'll catch up with you next week. But we can also catch up with you here on the channel. You can contribute as a writer on the site, so we're also seeing some of your videos as well.
Yeah, yep. I'm one of the free pick article writers over at pickdogs.com, so just head on over to the website. There's a tab that says free picks. If you click on that, you can pick whatever sports you're looking for. You can get a free pick article on that. And then also, over on the YouTube channel, some previews as well with Mitch and Chris. So great place to find some free picks, whether on the YouTube channel or over on the sites. So either way, check it out and get a free pick out of it.
That's right, guys. Check it out and subscribe. All right, David, have a great rest of the night. We'll catch up with you again next week.
All right, I appreciate it, Tony. Have a good one.
You as well. David Racey here on the Drive Thru. Let's continue on here on the show. Up next, let's bring in Jovan Burts. You'll catch him over at Pick Dog Stream. We'll bring Jovan in right now, ready to roll. Here we're going to take a look at some NBA season win totals. It's that time of the year. The NBA starts in about 2 weeks away. And with the light schedules here until we get hockey and baseball and basketball in full run here, we're going to be covering some season win totals. And Jovan ready to roll with us here with NBA. Jovan, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, Tony? How are you?
I'm doing great. All right, here we go. NBA season win totals. You're going to be looking at the LA Lakers.
Oh, yeah, the good old LA Lakers. LeBron's team. Now, this roster, they did get better. Well, actually, let's backtrack to post All-Star game. It was really one of the best teams on post the All-Star break. So I think this is what's driving this season win total at 47.5. Looking at what they did in the offseason, yeah, they got Chris Wood. They got Christian Wood. They got Gabe Vincent. They still have their cast of characters. The other guys that was doing all right, like Austin Reeves and guys like that. But this total, this season win total is just a little bit too steep for me. Now, last year they were 43-39, and I don't care who they got on their roster. They have not gonna say over the hill LeBron James, but he's been breaking down for the last 2-3 seasons, and he likes his rest. So even if he's not breaking down, has foot injuries and things of that nature, he's gonna fabricate something. And he's not going to play when he's really supposed to play, prime time games and things of that nature. So when he doesn't play, are you going to rely on their second in command? Are you going to rely on Anthony Davis? I don't think so. An injury-prone player who hasn't put it together since the championship season that they had in the bubble season. Now, don't focus on just their roster, because they do have a pretty good roster. Look at who they have to face in the Western Conference. Let's go down the list. The Denver Nuggets, the NBA World Champions, who dispatched them in the Western Conference Finals. That's one of the teams that they're gonna have to face. Then you have the Grizzlies. Even though we have the Ja Morant, situation, he's gonna come back. He's gonna be focused. And he has some guys on that roster that's going to keep them in line. Then we got the Kings, the upstart Kings, who really should have won that first round series against the Golden State Warriors, but they're going to be a year more experienced and a year stronger. Then we got the Suns, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and those guys. Then we got the Clippers, who own the Lakers. It's the Clippers city right now. And they got James Harden. I don't know how that's going to play out for them, but until further notice, they own the Lakers. Then we got the Warriors. Now, they did beat the Warriors in, the Eastern Conference semifinals, but the Western Conference semifinals, but that's just another team that you got to go through. Then we got the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, the Thunder, SGA, Chet Holmgren's going to be on the court this season, so you got to look out for them. And then even the teams that didn't make the play-in or the playoffs, the Mavericks, Luka Doncic always has trouble. The Lakers always have trouble with him. The Utah Jazz, another talented team. Hell, even teams like the Trailblazers, who've added more depth even though they got rid of Damian Lillard. And then we got the Rockets, who added Fred VanVleet. And then we got Wembanyama and the Spurs. So every team damn near has gotten better. So it's going to be a dogfight in the Western Conference. Everyone's going to be jockeying for position in those 10 slots. So I don't see how they get to 47 or 48 wins to get to this over. So I think the under's going to cash.
All right, Jovan says go under 47.5 wins. Regular season wins here for the Lakers. Of course, the Lakers, as you said, it's tough in that Western Conference, even tough in the Eastern Conference, especially those road trips for this Lakers team, because the East is starting to get a little better, especially some of these younger teams. If you catch them in back-to-back nights, those long trips for these West Coast teams when they have to go East, don't forget those spots as well. And of course, you're right. A lot of these players sit out games, they get banged up. Also LeBron missed the first preseason game because that foot again issues there. As you get older, you can stretch as long as you want, but sometimes those aches and pains hit you, and they're always going to side on caution during the regular season.
Absolutely right. So, if they're not at full strength, there's going to be some nights on the second out of a back-to-back where they drop one to a Houston Rockets team, a game that they should have had and didn't get. This is the NBA, and we all know that the powers that be, or these organizations, they like to keep it close to the vest with who's gonna sit out, game time decisions. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's hard on us handicappers. This is just the side. It's hard on us handicappers to deal with the NBA, especially the last few seasons with everyone, basically pulling a bunch of shenanigans as far as the injury report goes, and you have to wait until midday, 1:30, for the official, the start of the official, injury reports, and then, you go into there's certain time frames as far as the NBA where you get those injury reports, and then you don't know what's gonna happen. So it's gonna be times where LeBron, he's questionable, game time decision. Oh man, damn, he's not playing. You know what I'm saying? So, then just like you said, you got to deal with the Eastern Conference. This is just not the Western Conference. We got the Eastern Conference, and then and what's going on over there. The Bucks have gotten better. The Boston Celtics, they've gotten better. And I'm saying that begrudgingly because they're lacking on the offense. I mean, on the defensive end, but damn, their offense is gonna look like it's something special. And they did get Drew Holiday, so that sufficiently replaces Marcus Smart. So, then you got, other teams, down the line in the Eastern Conference. So the Lakers aren't going to get an off night. Everyone wants to beat the Lakers.
Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
And usually, and this is the problem when you're dealing with a veteran team, right? Games that look easy on paper aren't easy for veteran players because those bad teams are usually full of young players that can run like crazy.
Absolutely. That's just another layer to it. You have one of the oldest rosters in the association, dealing with the Lakers. So, with that said, unless Austin Reeves is gonna drop 20 and be the third cog in that that big three or whatever, or D'Angelo Russell or whoever, then there's gonna be some nights where they might have a little mini losing streak or a 5-game losing streak or something like that. You don't get an off night in the NBA nowadays.
No.
The way the league is getting younger and they're pushing certain older guys out and things of that nature. So it's gonna be rough for them. And like I said, since the bubble, I don't think they've hit this win total anyway. So I think this is money in the bank.
Yeah, since the new rule changes, the rule changes do not favor these veteran teams that like to slow the pace down with physical play. It's pretty much a running league. It's pretty much what it is. And I'll give you a little, just from my experience, 20 years ago, more than that now, when I used to work as a stringer, doing working reporters in NBA locker rooms, in locker rooms, and NBA specifically, I remember this. Players don't like to announce their injuries because after a game they have to go into treatment. So if these guys want to go home, and if they announce an injury, they got to get treatment. That means they're delayed at half an hour to an hour, maybe even longer. And then if you're an injured player, that means you got to come in early for treatment. So that's why a lot of times these players conceal their injuries because they have to, if they have plans after the game, they're late by an hour, and that means coming early for an hour. Sometimes you see players announce injuries right when they come for the game because that's why they have plans, their social lives going on. We won't get specific into that, but there's a lot of that going on in the league where guys don't want to report their injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. These are all the things that to use another reference from another sport, it's inside baseball. You know what I mean? So, these are all the things that people don't realize when it comes to, these sports leagues and these teams, and the things that they keep from the general public. You know what I mean? So, yeah, you're right on the money with that.
Yeah, so if you ever hear that announcement, oh, he got hurt, what happened? No, he just didn't want to. He didn't want anyone to know about it because I've seen it before where
Right.
the coach would come up to the player, hey, I saw you hold, we took you out because of this or this, that. I want you to, go to the trainer's room. That means an hour, and you got to come back early. I've seen it.
And going other days or long gone are the days of guys playing through injuries. Playing hurt. These these guys getting paid. The more they get paid, the less they want to play. Go figure.
Yep, and that a lot of has to do with their agents too, coaching them. So there's a lot of that going on. So
we have these players. We have these players in these, their inner circle. Their team. Whisper in their ear, do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? So, it wasn't like that before.
Yep, that should be interesting to see how the NBA form up for a competitive league. And looking forward to the start of NBA. We're just 2 weeks and a day away from the start of the NBA. All right, still 1-0 top first between the Phillies and Braves. You following this game, Jovan, much with the series? Your thoughts so far on it?
The Phillies are giving the Braves everything they can handle. And like I said on Friday, what I was doing. You know what I mean? So, or for game 2, because I didn't touch game 1, but I said if the Phillies win game 1, I'm rolling with the Braves in game 2, and they got them on the run line, and they're in the hole right now. So, hey, listen, I need the Braves bats to crack, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, and boy, Fried just afraid he doesn't want to challenge Schwarber here with a runner on 1-0 top of the first. Schwarber up here. They loaded the bases. He got out of that bases loaded jam with a hard hit ground out. And Fried laboring here in the second inning. All right, Jovan, let's take a look over at Pick Dog for nice action. We've got baseball on the board, NFL, Monday Night Football. We come back tomorrow with college football and more. What do you have going over at Pick Dog? Great start to NFL season.
Yeah, so I only got one play. That's the Monday Night Football play. Got the winner in that. We got football every day of the week. All through the end of November. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get a lot of football out of me. Not gonna get much baseball unless I see a matchup, a pitcher matchup that's optimal. To what how I like to handicap baseball. So it's gonna be football all the time until basketball season. You're gonna get basketball and football for me, but that's a little bit down the road. That's a couple weeks away. But you can check me out on my 3-day, my 7-day, my 30-day, my yearly, or you could check out one of the season passes, NFL, college football, or the combo pass. You know what I mean? So you're gonna get a lot from me, regardless. You know how I like to do it when it comes to football season. I'm a shoot, and I'm a win more than I lose, as my NFL record indicates, and the units that's been won. So you can also check me out, match me on what other handicappers for the 2-for-1 Capital Promotional. It's all here, Sports Chat Place and Pick Dogs. Let's get it.
Let's get it, guys. Got aboard with Jovan Burts over at Pick Dogs. Premium long-term pass will serve you well. You see the hot start in NFL. Great time to get on board with the long-term pass. Remember the promo code PICK at checkout, and you'll be able to save 15% off. All right, Jovan, as always, great having you show. Continue that great success. We'll catch up with you again later in the week.
Absolutely. Have a great night. Win. We see you on Friday.
See you on Friday. Jovan Burts here on the drive-thru. Let's continue on here on the show. Guys, you ever miss a pick on the show? We always recap at the end of the show. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's continue on. Up next, let's begin. Ron Zawacky. You'll catch him over at Pick Dogs Premium. Ron's been good to us here on the show. Bring him in right now. More baseball coverage for tomorrow's game. Bring him in right now for the day game. Ron, what's happening?
Hey, not too much. Turkey's in the oven, and
Yes.
Thanksgiving, and we got is all in full effect here for me up in Canada. So it's Turkey Monday for me up in Canada. Some people did it yesterday. Well, we do it here on Monday.
That's right. Happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian viewers out there and Cuppers. For today's action, we had a CFL game go off, but tonight we're going to be looking with Rod for tomorrow's baseball here, 1 Eastern time, as Astros and Twins go at it in a competitive series here. Twins favored here, -128, total of 8.
Yeah, you look at this one, and it's a 1-1 series heading to Minnesota for this one. And the Astros, one of those teams that's sure after a loss, they definitely like to bounce back. You look on the mound for the Astros. Christian Javier getting the start. He's 3-2 with a 2.2 ERA over his last 5. Pitching well has he been as Javier, and I think he pitches real well here in this one. On the other side of the bump for the Twins, you got Sonny Gray getting the start, and he's pitched well himself. 2-3 with a .6 ERA over his last 5. The problem is he only goes about 5 innings. 4 or 5 at best is what you get out of Sonny Gray. I don't see him doing much more than 6. He does 6 but 5 innings at best. Then you got to throw it to the bullpen, and when you throw it to the bullpen, the Twins bullpen, 3.5 ERA over the last 10. Astros, 1.95 ERA over their last 10. And then you look offensively, the numbers this season pretty much even. You look at the Astros, 247 versus righties over the last 10. Twins, 249 versus righties over the last 10, so almost identical there. But on the road, the Astros have definitely hit better on the road this season, hitting 261 on the road. And as I said, they're definitely a solid team to bounce back off of a loss. In Game 3 of the series, following a loss, 14-8, while the Twins, winners in Game 3, are following, heading into Game 3, winners in Game 2, they're 11-19 this season. Astros are also 14-0 to that run line, covering it following a straight-up loss. They're also 7-0 following a loss as a dog. So I'm going to go with the Astros here to take a 2-1 series lead as we head to Minnesota. Going to be a great game here tomorrow afternoon, but let's go with the Astros.
All right, we got Rod says go Astros here, plus the 118 here against the Minnesota Twins. How can you argue that, right? It's the one thing here with this Astros team, they've been money against winning teams. You look at them over the second half of the season since the All-Star break, 20-6 on the road against winning teams. That's plus 15 unit returns. Now, when you catch the Astros as an underdog, and usually when it's an underdog, they're playing good teams, right? They're usually going to be winning teams. They're not going to be underdogs to bad teams. In this price range, even money to plus 150. Just overall underdog here, 25-12 plus 16 units as a dog. This is a team that really seems to be motivated when they're facing the top tier teams. How can you blame them? They've been in these postseason. They've been in a lot of World Series, and they just seem to wire up here for the better teams.
They do, right? They get up for these games. It's like they have them circle the calendar. They've been there, done that. We know how to get up and play these good teams. And then, for some reason, on the road this season, they've been lights out on the road. They've struggled a little bit at home in Tropicana Park this season. But the Astros, lights out on the road. Down the stretch, that was what got them into these playoffs. And won the division was their play on the road. I think they've actually played down the stretch better on the road than what they have at home. And I think the bats come to life here. And the Astros snag us a win to kickstart Tuesday.
Yeah, sure.
Lots of action tomorrow, too, as well. So.
A lot of action, the early action here from the one. Of course, we got college football. Okay, Rod, we'll go a peripheral here. We saw Game 1 on Sunday. Also, if some of them did, if you had multiple TVs, it might have been tough if you're watching all the NFL because this one had a start time. But we get back to this one. Looks like it's a Wednesday game. Liberty and Aces going head-to-head in Game 2. The Aces, it was close, but, man, the Aces just run them over to close. It was a big closeout like a champ there. Aces laying 5 here in Game 2. Early look here, total 171.5.
Yeah, right, and it was 4.5, I think, is where it went to, and it moved up to like 5 in that Game 1. And as I said, the Aces were ready. They deliberately had to play an extra game. Is that going to make a difference down through these finals? That the Liberty had to play an extra game. They did get both got that same equal rest, but the Aces definitely didn't have to play as many games to get to these finals. And at home, this Aces team has just been money. Liberty's only covered twice in the last 15 trips into Vegas. And yes, that was during the Commissioner's Cup where they did get the win. And what happens is the Aces have kind of been like, here, you get the money, you win the Commissioner Cup money, but we're going to win the championship. You want to beat the best? You got to beat the champs, and that's the Aces. I would lay the points with the Aces here at home again to take a stranglehold in this series and go up 2-0.
All right, Rod says Aces to take the 2-0 series lead here. This one played in Las Vegas, 9 p.m. East time over on ESPN. All right, we know hockey starts tomorrow. This game will be going underway where we're live on the drive-thru, so this pick will not be available on our show tomorrow. So we're going to put it up to the graphic up for today, for tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern time. It's about half an hour before the drive-thru begins. ESPN has Predators and Lightning to start the NHL season. Lightning here. We know the situation in goal, but they're still favored here, minus 158. We see the total 6.5.
The Lightning are still favored here in this situation, and it's because Jonas Johansson gets to start here for the Lightning. And if you know that name, well, he came from the Florida Panthers last season. We've seen him step up in a few playoff games for the Panthers and play real well. And then in the preseason here with the Lightning, man, he's got a shutout and was playing great hockey. His only loss came in an overtime shootout. So, for me, it's been years since we haven't heard Vasilevsky getting the start for the Lightning to kick off the season, right? So that's the big thing here. It's Jonas Johansson getting the start. And the Predators, look at the Predators. They ended the season. They they finished last season hot. They made some trades down the stretch and picked up some players and started to turn things around. You look at Saros in goal for these Predators, and this is his third season as the number one goalie. I think he can have a big breakout season. He started to get things rolling in the right direction, and I think he does here. You know what, in game one, I kind of like the under as a goalies duel. As I said, Jonas Johansson is pretty lights out in his young, very small sample size in his career. Saros, we know what he can do. Lights out. I think we get the typical Lightning defensive style hockey. I don't think they can be as fast-paced and outscore teams like they have in recent years. So I like the under 6.5. If you like my side, go check out the videos.
Yes.
They start today. They'll be released tonight sometime on all three games. So definitely tune in. Check them out.
Some people will see the start time and they think, is this neutral side? Are they playing this in another country? 5:30 Eastern time seems like an early start time for this game, but I guess they want to get 3 games in.
They want to get it's like a triple header to kickstart the NHL, right? So we'll have this one a little bit earlier than what the normal. It's like an hour or so start a little bit earlier than what they normally would.
It's a true home game.
Become a nice triple header and to finish off with the good old. The banner raising in Vegas, and they get the rings, and you get to see the big ceremony. Vegas does that up real well. Definitely tune in, check that out. We know Vegas puts on a great show when it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
they certainly do.
Nice
So
for the Lightning.
Yeah, so the start time may throw people off. It is a true home game. They just want to get a triple header, and it's 5:30. That's kind of like, people at home in the East. This is an East Coast game, so people out east, if you're Alex Smart area, that's 6:30 Eastern. So some folks there will get 3 games.
It's in Florida, so they just finished the early buffet dinner for the seniors, so they'll all be ready to go for the game. So be ready to go for this game.
They might have the senior specials at the game. That's where you go.
Senior specials at the game, right? Exactly. Game 1 might be.
Game 1. So they're getting it started early. It is a true home game there. Predators and Lightning, just to note that, because I know the start time, when you see a start time like that, you might think, okay, where's this? Where they playing this in Europe someplace? London? No, it's going to be out here. Nope. All right, Rod, we always like to look at the opening lines here with you. Here, NFL opening lines. We got all the lines out here for this week. Anything really strike your fancy?
This week when I was looking at the opening lines, there's one line that jumped out at me the most. When you look at it, it's like, what? Why would that? It just makes no sense to me. Why you look? I think it's just too many points again. Where was it? Someone's getting like way too many points.
Miami's laying 14 against Carolina. Buffalo laying 14 against the Bills. Chiefs laying 11 against the Broncos. That's the number there.
6. Somebody was laying 6, right?
Philly laying 6.5, 7 at the Jets in that one. That's a big line. We've got, what else do we have here? Let's see.
Doesn't that look fishy? The Jets? The Eagles and the Jets? It looks a little light to me. That line looks a little light to me. I think the Eagles should be a little bit more north of 6.5. The way they've been playing, how can they be only 6.5?
Well, I think the folks there are looking at this, and I'm surprised because the line opened 6.5. It's been moved to 7. This is a back-to-back road game. Remember, they had to fly all the way to L.A. They fly back home, and then they go to New York. So it is one of those back-to-back spots after a West Coast trip.
Right, so they figure that could be a tougher spot for the Eagles. Well, it hasn't turned out so far this season. They've been pretty solid in the spot. Dolphins did it. I think the Eagles could probably go from one coast to the other and get the win.
The win, right? Probably do that one. A game here that's.
But the one that really jumps out at me is the Rams. The Rams at home have not been good, right? 0-2 this season at home to start the number, and you got a 6.5. What? That's a division game. That's going to be a battle and a half. You're going to give me 6.5 with the Arizona Cardinals, who are a scrappy bunch. A little more scrappy than what we've seen. I think Burrow's had to turn it up. He's maybe getting things turning around a little bit in the right direction. Maybe his injury is not looking so bad. But that was a must-need win if the Bengals wanted to be even in the hunt for the season. They couldn't have lost that one yesterday. They needed that win. I avoided that one like the plague. I was like, I'll stay away from that one.
Yeah.
But they needed that win. That was they came through and got the win.
And also
6.5. I like the 6.5 here versus the Rams.
Yeah, also reported that Burrow was feeling better with that calf. He made everybody well aware of that early in the week, and we saw Burrow really come through with that performance there. One game that kind of looked interesting here, a game I'm looking forward to, 49ers and Browns. Boy, this Browns defense has been two of the best defenses in the NFL going head-to-head. 49ers going to be laying 4.5. I'm seeing 5s now here. Total 39.5, 38.5 in some places here. And
it opened and rose, like the total in that when I seen that, and I was like 38.5, and I was like, ooh, that's like right. That seems like right where it should be to me. That number at 38.5. Now it's rising, so I'm not in a hurry to bet that. If that heat keeps going up, it'll be a good spot to find it under later on in the week. Definitely, I want to jump on that one. But that two defensive battle, I do lean the under there. But and the total's rising, so it's one of those weird line movements. That's the way it's going. But I would lean the under there. I think, just like you said, that's going to be a battle. That 49ers defense is for real. Watch out.
Watch out.
The only other defense that I've seen that's just as good, Michigan.
There you go, Michigan. Now number 1 in the nation. Overthrows Georgia, top of the number 1. We'll see how that rolls.
Look at that defense. No one can do anything. That was the one they gave up 10 points. That's the first time all season they gave up 10 points.
So on that, before we get to the promo, Rod, anything on the props on tonight's Monday Night Football game of Raiders and the Packers that you see?
You know what? It's Monday night, and who doesn't need a little bit of love in their life? You know what? He scored a touchdown in the last 2 games for the Green Bay Packers. You know what? Everybody's all jumping on the Garoppolo. Garoppolo's back. Garoppolo's back. What? Really? Yay! Give me love. Everybody needs a little bit of love in their life. Take Love to score the first touchdown.
First touchdown,
Love.
Love.
Good price on Love scoring the first touchdown in tonight's game.
Keeper.
That's why I like as a prop.
A keeper, a sneak. How's it going to be? Just going to
snipe? Yeah, little sneak, little sneaker, little quarterback sneaker. He'll jump it in. He's done it in the last 2 games, so
yep.
I think he can do it again.
All right, look at that sneaker there. Okay, so Rod on record here on his play. Astros in Game 2 with the plus price against the Twins for tomorrow's action. And, of course, more peripherals from Rod. All right, Rod, let's take a look over at Pick Document for tonight's action. Single games, NFL, and baseball. Look at Rod's been on fire the last 3 days. 1,372 units of profit. Heading to a real busy week as we start NHL tomorrow. What do you have going over at Pick Dodge Premium?
And I've got 2 plays tonight in going on. I got 1 play in the Monday Nighter. Swept the board yesterday in the NFL, went 6-0. Looking to continue that with my nickel play in the Monday Nighter. Scooped that up singly. Also got my 10-star play of the day. We crushed that yesterday with the 49ers. 19-7-1 the last 27 games on it, or hitting over 60% long term over the last 3 months plus on that 10-star play of the day. It's available singly, or now's that time. Grab something long term. The best deal going is I got a 90-day pass. You'll get everything I got going for the next 3 months. It'll get you right into next year. It'll get you some NHL, the first 3 months of the NHL, get you some NBA, get you some college hoops for a month and a half, probably to get you right all the way into a big pile of the bowl games and college football, right down to the playoffs into next season. That's probably the best thing I got going. Use that promo code PICK at checkout, get 15% off that 90-day pass. Join me for the rest of the year as we continue to crush the books.
Rush the bookies with Rod Zawacky. Get on board. 90-day pass. Pick promo code. Save that 15% off. All right, Rod, as always, great having the show. Continue that success. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow as we open up the NHL season. But let everybody know about your video series up here heading up tonight.
Yeah, definitely tune in. Check out the hockey videos. We'll be doing that. Going through every game in the NHL this season. So definitely check that out. Also check out Ruffalo's new wraparound.
Okay.
It's not a reach around. It's a wraparound. don't get it confused now. As I heard in the morning show, there was a little bit of confusion. Just want to square that away. It's the wraparound.
All right. For those
So definitely
wrap
want to stay tuned for that. So that way you don't miss out on that. Definitely want to tune in and check that out. Some new ways of going with the NHL, but definitely check it out. Same two guys covering the hockey, just doing it a little bit differently.
That's right, guys.
Yeah.
Video series here on Pick Dogs. Like, subscribe, set notifications, so when these videos drop, you get them right away to get the best numbers, because these numbers will definitely move. So make sure, and of course,
definitely
make sure keep an eye, as Rod always keeps
we're
an eye on
very
these
good at moving
goalies.
them numbers in the hockey. Definitely between me and Chris, we're definitely very good at moving them numbers in hockey. I've seen it.
That's right. And of course, he'll get the morning skates. He'll keep an eye on all the goalie situations. So keep on tabs. All right, Rod. Have a great evening. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
You as well, Tony. Good luck with your bets, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
You as well. Rod Zawacky here on the drive-thru. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's get to my pick, and then we'll let you guys go for the evening. We don't have a game really starting top of the hour. We got baseball here at 9 Eastern, and the football game 8:30 Eastern time. So we'll continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's get to my game here. Packers and the Raiders. Raiders still holding that as 2-point favorites in this game. We see the total here at 45, and that's where I'm going. I'm going over 45 in this one. Between the Raiders and Packers. You mentioned Love. Yeah, Love is in the air. We're looking for a good performance out of Love. Also looking at a good performance here with the Raiders on the ground, because if you look at the Packers, they've had some issues stopping the run this year. I think this might be a Brandon Jacobs type of game, at least on the Raiders side, to get points on the board. If you've looked at the Packers, they've had some issues here. We saw Atlanta and Detroit rush for over 200 yards on this Packers defense. Remember, the Packers used to be a really good defensive team with stopping the run. Not so far this year. So I'm looking for Jacobs to come in with a strong game here. I know. I think that also too, if the run game's working, we'll give Garoppolo some time to make things happen in the passing game. Remember when Garoppolo was with the 49ers, they always had that really good run game. And without a run game, Garoppolo's below average, right? That's what we know, just what we've seen. So if we can get the run game going for the Raiders, then we can get the above average Garoppolo. The Garoppolo we saw in San Francisco can engineer some touchdown drives to help get this over. That's what we're going over the total here, over 45 between these Raiders and the Packers. I made a case here for the Raiders to get their end of the bargain. We know the Raiders defense has not been the greatest, and Love can get generate some points here on this one. All right. All over at Pick Dogs Premium tonight. I've got premiums on the board right now from the NFL, Monday Night Football, as well as a premium play up there from the Dodgers and Diamondbacks. You can also get on board with my long-term pass, my 3, 7, or 30-day all sports pass. Get all my premium plays for that time period. Just select. When you go over to my handicapper page, make that purchase, promo code PICK at checkout. You'll save that 15% off. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Let's go ahead and let's get to the recap. Hope you joined us when we started the show, because Jay gave out the Braves and they got some catching up. Only down 1-0, top of the third. Freed on the hill, runner on, 1 out here in this spot. David liked the Dodgers run line, made the run and a half, plus 130 against Arizona. Jovan liked the Lakers under 47.5 total wins. Regular season wins there, under 47.5. Rod liked the Astros plus 118 against the Twins in Game 3. I liked Packers, Raiders over 45. The pick that I like the most, I will go with the Rod's Astros at plus 118 against the Twins in that spot, as we told you about how good the Astros have been on the road. All right, that's going to do it for this edition here of the Drive-Thru. Guys, be sure to tune in again tomorrow live here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers from Pick Dogs and Sports Chat Plays. Look out their plays in primetime. We'll have baseball, college football, and more. What you saw today, right? Some season win totals. Also, hockey on the board as well. How can I forget hockey? We got some action in hockey. Oh boy. We got a 2-run homer coming up. It is now 3-0 Phillies as we get a 2-run home run. Realmuto gets to Freed. Freed kept it up and he hit it to right center. Phillies up 3-0, top of the third on a 2-run home run by Realmuto. And things not looking good for Philadelphia right now, as the Phillies up 1-0 in the series get a 2-run home run. Right center, hard hit again. They're hitting Freed hard. He's not missing many bats. And the Phillies offense really carrying the way here, as well as their pitching. It was up in the strike zone, over the plate, not good location. And Realmuto was able to extend and get a good barrel hit on that ball. And it was a no-doubter right when it left right when it was hit. 3-0 Philadelphia, top of the third. 1 out. So the Braves are looking good, are not looking good right now. Phillies have been looking good. So we'll see how this rolls. Remember, Fried coming back from that blister situation. Doesn't seem to be bothering him too much, but Fried just not really, that location. That you can't leave that ball up there right there in his sweet spot. And of course, Harper and company looking good, man, looking really good. And if this starting pitcher can continue to play as they are, they'll be a tough out, no doubt. And up already here, 3-0. All right, that's going to do it here for this edition of the Drive-Thru, guys. Make sure you guys tune in again here tomorrow. Remember all the live shows on our channel. We got the morning show here live here at 10:30 a.m. each time with Mitch. We have Jay, and we got Chris with that morning show. Also, Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. Betting tool shows, Mitch's roundtable discussion with the professionals, as well as Chris's wraparound. Of course, is a video series NHL, Rod's NHL series as well as NHL. We got Jay NFL rundown, Romanelli rundown from college football, as well as Major League Baseball playoffs. And of course, we've got the videos from NHL coming from our man David Racey, Nick Mencken, Nerfies Yerfies, Mike Davis live shows Monday, Wednesday, Friday, as well as more and more video content coming in. We got the boxing a video series here from Wayne Scott, just to name a few. There's tons of video series, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, set notifications. When these videos drop, you get them live in real time. All right, that's going to do it here for the show. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew from today's show. Going to wait. Goodbye, guys. You guys have a great afternoon, evening, and we'll catch up with you guys.